Hello everybody, it's me, Walter the Germany Ball, back with Console Conversations. Now, the last Console Conversations is officially the most watched Console Conversations of all time to date. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for that. I know it was a very controversial one, so most of the views came from that. But also, thank you guys for this huge breakthrough in Console Conversations history. And now that we're back from a short week-long break, we're going to be going over two major news stories. So the first one was Sony had a state of play. Now, I'm always in it for Sony, I'm a big Sony fan, that's not hidden, I do love Sony. So I was excited for this. They directly said nothing from Horizon, nothing about God of War Ragnarok, nothing about new PSVR tech. So, no one had any excuse to be hyped up for those things. They said it's going to mostly focus on Deathloop gameplay and third-party announcements. Okay, so at least they told us, the truth. And we started off with Moss. Moss was a game I heard a lot of great things about on the original PSVR, and I think, personally, it looks awesome. If I ever get PSVR, this is definitely going to be one of the first games I try out, and they're making a sequel, a full-on sequel, Moss Book 2. Looks cute, looks awesome, looks a little darker, awesome way to start off the show. But then we got Arcade-mageddon, which is an online multiplayer shooter thingy, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I might actually try this, because it looks like kind of cool, like the mechanics look pretty fleshed out, and the guns look satisfying to use and all that, and it looks vibrant, the colors are very vibrant. I might try it out, I might, but this wasn't very exciting, but it went by quickly. What didn't go by quickly, though, was Tales of Midgard, which is a top-down game, which is kind of an automatic no for me. But they spent forever going over it, and it just bogged down the show. This didn't need to be there, honestly, and if it was, it could have been like a sizzle reel. Did not need to get this focus on it. It looks lame. I don't care about it one bit. Just not cool. But then we got something that did look cool, called Fist. And this is like some weird, like, industrial Japan spy animals fighting machines type stuff. It looks really awesome, but I found out it's a Metroidvania. So, personally, not interested. But it was a great announcement. This game looks phenomenal, but I'm not going to play it because Metroidvanias are just not my thing. Like, I can almost never enjoy one. And I might try it, if it's like $10 or something, and it's supposed to be really, really, really good. But yeah, so we got Moss Book 2, Arcade-geddon, Tribes of Midgard, all that stuff, Fist. So far we're not doing terrible. And then we go to Hunter's Arena, which is one of the weirdest things ever, because it actually, like Arcade-geddon, it actually looks good. Like, it actually looks really appealing and fun. But it's probably not going to be. I'm probably not going to like it. I'm just saying, I almost never enjoy a online multiplayer game. I almost never. So when these two games come along and actually look impressive to me, that's an achievement in itself, but overall not very exciting. But then we got Sifu, which actually kind of has proven itself to me now. It looks pretty awesome. It looks like, I can't even describe, it looks like God of War, but martial arts, and I like that. I think it looks really cool, to be honest. Nothing else to say, really. It just looks really awesome. They announced a delay to early 2022. Okay, I don't care. Like, that's fine. Good. Make it as polished as it can be. 2021 was already jam-packed with Sony stuff, so I don't blame them. But then we got Jet the Far Shore, and for this one I kind of have to apologize. I still think the art style looks kind of hideous, not gonna lie. But when I first saw this at the PS5 showcase, I said that I thought it looked like garbage. It doesn't look like garbage. It looks fine. It looks okay. It looks interesting. And they put a lot of passion behind it and a lot of hard work, and I can respect that. But am I going to play it and spend money on it? No. No. It looks fine, but like, not, again, another one of these games that doesn't look bad, but I'm probably not going to play it unless it's free, and I hear really good stuff about it. But then, we got an anime game. And this is already bad, but even worse, it's one of the cringiest, most annoying, obnoxious trailers I've ever witnessed. Honestly, one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. It makes me want to literally blow my brains out. I'm not exaggerating. This is some of the worst voice acting I've ever seen. This should not have been here at all. Like, I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but this is just, like, oh my god, awful. I don't like to make a judgment on anime, okay? Because I'm willing to say I'm not personally an anime fan, but that's mostly because I haven't really watched it, you know? And I can say there are parts of it that are not good, that I don't like, despite not having watched a lot of it. And I can say I like the art style, and I can say things like that, and I can say, like, oh, I don't want to see more anime games. And that should be fair. But I'm not making a judgment on anime as a whole art form here, okay? I personally think the art style is really very appealing, and I'm sure there are good anime shows and games out there. But this just looks terrible, guys. I'm sorry. It just looks so bad to me. Moving on from that, we got Lost Judgment, which I was confused at first because I didn't know anything about Judgment. All I knew was, oh, they just added it to PS Now. And I was going to try it. Apparently, it came out a few years ago, and this is the sequel. They announced the sequel, just straight up. Cool. Awesome, in my opinion. This makes me want to try out the original. Actually, now, because I have PS Now, might as well try it, you know. So I'm going to try out the first one, and then this game looks appealing to me. It looks good. This might be a solid title. I don't know. It just looks fun overall. And then we got Death Stranding. So I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here. So Death Stranding, if you don't know, is a game that released in 2019. It was being hyped up for years. But we didn't really know much about it until it came out, and people got really mad about it. And I'm not going to say that these people on Metacritic or any of these people are justified, because I, of all people, should not ever, ever, ever make a judgment on a game I haven't played based on what people on Metacritic are saying, because personally, Metacritic is kind of a little enemy of mine. I don't like it. Especially the user reviews. You know, a lot of games I like, a lot of games I don't like. Complete opposite on Metacritic. So my opinions aren't reflected by that. And I know that's not what its job is. I'm just saying there are a lot of insanely stupid reviews on Metacritic. So I'm not trusting those. But I'm just going to say it was received quite negatively by a lot of, you know, publications and people. I think IGN gave it a 5 or something. And they gave Mass Effect Andromeda 7.8. They gave Days Gone a 6. Days Gone is a good game in my opinion, but they thought it was like Hellspawn, and they gave that game a 6. Because their, you know, scoring system is out of whack. So if it's below a 7, it's pretty much guaranteed that they don't like it. Now, is it guaranteed that it's bad? No, because you can't always trust them. But is it guaranteed that if they didn't like it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. You know, below a 5, that I could understand being the point where you don't like it. But they gave this a 5.5, I think. And now they're making a director's cut. And, you know, if you like the game, this is a cool thing. You know, we got this announcement before, but we got almost nothing about it, and they gave us information about the gameplay. I don't have any problem with this. I don't care, but I get its inclusion. You know, I honestly understand the inclusion of pretty much all these games, maybe with the exception of that terrible anime game. Definitely the exception of that, and maybe one or two of those online games. Maybe those could have been trimmed down a little. And Tribes of Midgard, that should have been way shorter. But otherwise, this was like mostly things I didn't really care about, but fine stuff nevertheless. And this was one of those. Now, I have been thinking about it, and I might eventually play Death Stranding. Because it's so weird, and at this point, it's probably so easy to find cheap. So, right here, right now, I'm going to make a little channel announcement. If we reach 200 subscribers, I'll review Death Stranding. I'm putting my foot down, making this decision live. I just popped up in my head. I'll do that. I'll do that. Will I buy the director's cut, though? That I cannot say. If it's still 60 or 70 bucks, then no. Because I might not even enjoy it, and I probably won't. I just personally don't find it very appealing. But yeah, I'll review it at 200 subscribers. There you go. There's something to work towards. And then we got the final thing. Deathloop gameplay. This was awesome. This game looks awesome, especially in co-op. My only problem is, this is by Arcane, who made Prey and who made Dishonored. I've played Dishonored 1 and I've played Prey, and both of them were way too hard for my liking. I liked them at first, especially Dishonored. Like, I really liked Dishonored at first, but then it just got way too hard. I couldn't continue, and you may say I suck at the game, and that's fair. But this is taking that and going even further, because now the enemies have guns, and now when you die, you reset. So if it's a Returnal scenario where you reset the whole game when you die, this will be one of the most insanely unfair games of all time, and I will not buy it. If there are, like, checkpoints and stuff, because you have to take down these 8, assassins. Returnal was better, because those were mostly, like, random, fights, and you kind of carried along the story, despite going back. This seems, like, different from that. And if it is, void of checkpoints and whatnot, then count me out for the most part. And I'm not going to buy this day one no matter what. But I might try it out for a budget price if it's fair. And that was it. We got a cool gameplay demo that made the game look really cool. I really like the idea of being able to listen to enemies and find out new information because of them. And yeah, just overall, a really cool last announcement. So what did I think of the state of play overall? Well, so I haven't said my opinion on E3, so I'm going to say that really quick. Ubisoft was terrible. Square Enix was terrible. Microsoft was fine, but I'd give it like a 2.5 out of 5. Mediocre at best, just because so many things were cinematic trailers and so many forgettable games that are going to be forgotten about when they're released. Nintendo Direct was well-paced for the most part, had a few big announcements. Very disappointing. Like, I didn't expect them to go above and beyond, but I needed them to for me to be sold. But it was very good. It was very good. It was pretty good. Especially Breath of the Wild 2 and WarioWare, especially those. And Capcom was Hellspawn. That did not need to exist at all. At all. At all. And Sony. Why am I bringing this up? Because Sony wasn't there. People are saying this is their E3 show? No. Because I don't think these people remember last year where Sony had September State of Play. That was huge. So they might be doing that, and they might not be doing that. They might be doing these individual State of Plays, weird, little one-off things, and I'm perfectly fine with that. In fact, I find it better, because that gives me the mindset that, oh, these developers are coming out with stuff when they're ready. Not pushing out cinematic trailer after cinematic trailer of a game that's going to come out in 5 years, that's going to be forgotten about as soon as it releases. I'm looking at you, Microsoft. No, none of that. So, applause to Sony for that. But this event by itself, it was just okay. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to give it the same score as Microsoft's. Because the games looked fine. It wasn't terrible. The pacing wasn't that bad. But nothing really was like, oh my god. You know, Moss looked okay. Moss looked cute. Sifu looked cool. Fish looked okay. And Deathloop might be good. That's it. That's it. If it had Horizon 2, I'd be giving this a 7. If they got rid of the anime game, I'd be giving it a 7. If they got rid of the anime game, included Horizon, and maybe one other big announcement, I'd be giving this bad boy a 9. You already know. But, as it stands, this will get a 5.5. Or out of 10. Or a 2.75 out of 5. What IGN gave Death Stranding. Just to spite Microsoft, because it was a little less painful to watch. Overall, not the worst, but some big news from this. But then we have Nintendo, who unveiled something huge that we'll talk about next. And Nintendo. What did they announce that was so big? A new frickin' Switch. Not the Switch Pro. And I have to say real quick, I'm getting really sick of these Switch Pro news. Please stop it. If I hear one more goddamn story about Switch Pro rumors and leaks, I'm actually gonna lose it. Please stop. But this was unveiled. Kind of a Switch Pro. It's an OLED Switch with better sound quality and a better stand. Okay, what do you want me to say? It's cool and all. I'm glad this exists. I don't have really anything against it. But I'm also a little disappointed because it's like, why? Why at this point? In my opinion, should have just waited. Should have just made a brand new Switch. Should have just waited 2 more years to unveil your next gen thing. This doesn't need to exist in my opinion. But it's fine. It's cool. I don't have a problem with it. And it looks cool. I like the Joy-Cons. I like the look of it. It's fine. And $350. $350. Okay. That's perfectly fine, but I have no complaints. That's a good deal. That's a very good deal. I have no complaints. I thought it was going to be $400. If it was $400, I have something to say. $350. Good on you, Nintendo. Good job. Praise for that. So yeah. State of Play was fine. And Switch OLED is also fine. So overall, a very fine set of news stories. But that's all we have right now. E3 has come and gone. We have some exciting games coming, but overall, kind of a time. But these 2 announcements shined out, and I wanted to share my thoughts on them. So thank you guys for watching this episode of Console Conversations. Next episode will be another collab, I'm almost certain. Be safe, everybody. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.